In a recent podcast by Joe Thomas, the former Brown, it's called the Tomahawk Podcast, they had a guest, a very familiar name. Terrelle Pryor was on. Pryor played at Ohio State. Pryor played with the Browns in 2016. Terrelle Pryor told Thomas and Andrew Hawkins, who's his co-host, you know, I should have taken that contract from the Browns back in 2016. That was after the 16 season when Pryor caught 77 passes for the Browns. The Browns immediately offered him a 4-year, $32 million extension. 4 years, $32 million, $14 million guaranteed. Pryor and his agents thought that they were going to break the bank, get all this money, so they waited. And Sashi Brown, who was the Browns' VP of operations at the time, when Pryor turned that contract down, he turned around and gave it to Kenny Britt. So that was a disaster too, actually. Kenny Britt was here. He lasted 1 year, barely, actually not even all the way. He signed the same 4-year, $32 million deal, $14 million guaranteed. Meanwhile, Pryor ended up on a 1-year contract with the Washington Redskins. That did not work out well. He did not get offered an extension. He actually had some injuries in 2017. 2018, more injuries, floated around a little bit with the Bills, a little bit with the Jets. Right now, he's not anywhere. He's looking for a place to play. And, you know, I'd be interested. Actually, if I were the Browns, I might bring him in for a physical, take a look at him and see, because one of the things that hurt him the last few years is getting hurt. But it got me looking about these free agent receivers. To me, it seemed like this is a real minefield. And I know the Browns are kind of guarded about spending money on free agent receivers. I mean, the top one last year is this guy, Allen Robinson. He wasn't a bad buy. He signed a 3-year, $42 million deal with the Bears. He caught 55 passes, 4 touchdowns. He did help Mitchell Trubisky in Chicago, so he was a pretty good buy. Sammy Watkins got a 4-year deal from Kansas City. He caught 40 passes. He was okay, Sammy Watkins. You know, you would expect more. Mike Wallace was one of the top names in the free agent market. He didn't get much action. He ended up only playing a couple of games for a few teams. A guy named Paul Richardson, 5 years, $40 million. He got hurt, 20 catches. That's why I think, and John Dorsey talks about this, he'd rather work with the receivers he has or bet on a sure thing like Jarvis Landry when he traded for him, because Landry at that point, you know, still has never missed a game and rarely misses a practice. So he'd rather start with Landry, work with Antonio Callaway. Rashard-Higgins is a restricted free agent, you know, work with him. Maybe bring back Rashard Perriman, the guy they brought in who was cut by some other teams. Damian Ratley. Just try to kind of develop their own. Maybe they'll go out and sign a big money free agent receiver, but I don't think so. I think they'd rather bargain shop like they did for Perriman a year ago. Look at young receivers, maybe take somebody in the draft. You know, that wouldn't be a bad idea at all. And still have it with, you know, Jarvis Landry being your guy. Now, there's always these Odell Beckham rumors. You know, I don't know if I would do that or not. But I do know this much. I think John Dorsey in general has been pretty wise in how he's put this team together. I do think the receivers could use another influx of talent. Maybe you just use one of the draft picks on that. But I would not spend huge for a free agent receiver.